All right, welcome into Prop 5, the new show on the Five Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick. And at Five Reasons Sports, I got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. And my co-host at Five on the Floor, Greg Sylvander. You can follow him at Greg Sylvander. We're going to talk NBA today. Before we do want to mention that if you are outside the state of Florida or in 30 other states, make sure that you look it up on the prizepicks.com site. You can still play Prize Picks. Use the code 5 FIVE. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. Again, we still have the same promotion. We're waiting for things to change in the state of Florida, which they might soon. But until then, make sure if you're outside the state of Florida, make sure when you're signing up, use the code 5 FIVE. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. Or if you want to play props in state, we recommend Better Edge. You can use the code 5RSN there. That's betteredge.com. Use the code 5RSN and they will give you $20 to play. There's a market. So you put up the prop that you want and see if somebody fulfills it on the other side. All right, let's get to the NBA schedule tonight. Kind of a crappy one, to be honest, which is another reason to play the props because that gives you something to do and a reason to follow it. Okay, so we've got Hornets, Pistons. Oof. We've got Suns, Cavaliers. Well, the Cavs are beat up right now. Still no Mitchell and there's still no Strus, Mobley, etc. That probably is the game of the night, though, I guess. Mavericks at Bulls. Warriors at Spurs, Raptors at Nuggets, and then the nightcap, the Celtics at Portland. Let's go through a few of the props. Greg, you were looking at some of these earlier. What jumps out to you?
The one that immediately jumps off the page for me is the young buck in Charlotte, Brandon Miller. So he's at 20.5 points. He's hit that 4 out of his last 5. This is the part of the season where Charlotte is doing nothing but feeding their young core. And this is the guy that has been leading that. They're playing the Pistons. I'm taking him more than 20.5 points all day long. I love that play. And then actually sticking on that same game, I really like Cade Cunningham over 8 assists. He's averaged 9 assists in his last 5. He's gone over or hit that in 4 of his last 5. I like Cade over 8 assists and the Brandon Miller prop as well. Otherwise, there's not really a reason to watch that game. So that's probably the only reason to check in is to place these bets on Prize Picks.
I'm a little scarred by Brandon Miller just because I think he hit an over 7 out of 8, and the one he didn't hit was the one I played him. But he has been playing well of late, and he is the future for them, along with LaMelo. So an interesting play there. Cade Cunningham, yeah. I mean, the thing about those games is usually the games between these crappy teams remain close until somebody decides that they want to tank at the end of it. So you figure most guys will play most of the way. David, you want to play anything off of that game, or you were looking more at the Phoenix game, I believe?
Yeah, no, I like Miles Bridges. It was a little bit of a bump. It was at 11.5 rebounds and assists. Now that's up to 12.5. I'm still going to take that. He's been over that regardless 5 out of the last 6 games. So I like Miles Bridges. And Jalen Duren, I believe his numbers have bumped down. His PRA now sits at 28.5. And his rebounds and assists are off the board. So I like him under on any of the major categories tonight on the Pistons side of that game, which is pretty much the ugliest game you could probably draw up this late in the season. The teams combined are 26 and 101 on the season.
Well, we just saw a 10-win team win in Miami, so I guess there's a little bit more respect should be paid. Although the Hornets lost to the Wizards also recently. Suns and Cavs. You were looking before I go to Greg on this. You were looking for an over on KD possibly tonight against Cleveland.
Yeah. His PRA is 37.5. He's hit this number 60% on the whole season. 9 out of his last 15, 6 out of his last 10. It's a play that hits more often than not if you look at the long-term trends of KD. Like you said, Cleveland's a little bit banged up. I think he's going to be the feature in that game from the Phoenix side. So I love KD over 37.5 PRA.
All right. KD, anything on Suns, Cavs, or Mavs, Bulls, Greg?
I actually like one in the Cavs Suns game that David is leaning into, and that's Sam Merrill. So there's no Max Strus out there, as I understand it. Sam Merrill's at 8.5 points. Go over with him. I know that seems like a weird play. It's like, who is that dude? I think he's going to get major opportunity tonight to to play to get some shots up. So I'm going more than 8.5 points for Sam Merrill on Prize Picks.
Another one, a random scrub heat killer. Maverick Bulls. Let's go down the line here. Warriors Spurs. David, anything on either
There's
of
a
those?
Luka discount, isn't there, Greg? We got a temporary discount on Luka.
I think they might have pared that one down, right?
Oh no, it's still up. It's 11% off. You still have 2 hours. That's his PRA at 47.5 instead of 53.5. So you're getting an 11% discount. He's averaged 59 over the last 5 games. So you can still get that discount now.
It's ludicrous. But what? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw
7
this out.
games are ridiculous.
I'm just gonna throw this out there though. I always miss on those. Like it just feels like they know something, although I know in this case they may not. I know it feels like a little bit of a sucker play. But I mean he's been getting 35-point triple doubles on a regular basis lately, which on a loan is 55.
What's his
So,
points
I mean,
and assists
anytime you
alone,
get him under
Greg?
50.
What's Luka's points plus assists? Is he at 43.5 still?
Points and assists. He is at hold on. Let's see here. I'm having to scroll. He's at 43.5.
He's hit that 20 out of his last 30.
Wee.
So 67%.
Rebounds and assists is at 20. That's another easy win too.
30 is
all
a
of those
big
are
sample
overs.
size, though.
Who even guards him tonight? I'm trying to figure that out. DeRozan? I mean, Caruso's healthy now, right?
I mean, is Ayo DeSumo out there? Because maybe they would
Yeah.
deploy him a little bit. That's like a weird situation there. Kobe White will probably get some opportunity if
it's too small. Too small. I'm just thinking it's a tough cover for them. I mean, honestly, they probably would have used Patrick Williams on him to be physical with him. Patrick's out for the year. Chicago has been a strange team in the fact that they're kind of treading water now. Probably going to slip into the play-in and the back end of it at this point, but I just don't see a guy to cover Lucas. So I would agree with you guys. I would play him over. Let's go to some of these others. Greg, I'll let you jump in here on any of the last 3 games. Warriors, Spurs, Raps, Nuggets, Celtics, Blazers. Something that jumps out.
So for the Spurs, this is one where I am looking at Devin Vassell. He's at 21 points. Take him on the over. He's hit 22 and 30 in his last 2 games. Devin Vassell over 21 points. That's another one against the Warriors. I think it's going to be a pretty fast-paced game. So that's one I'm leaning into in that game that starts at 8:10 p.m. Eastern.
And that one's on NBA TV, by the way, if people want to catch up with it. David, anything on any of the late games? Actually, that's an 8:00 start, but yeah.
Yeah, you got Boston, Portland, the late game tonight. Let me just take a quick look around that one.
Another NBA TV game tonight. And then the Celtics had a weird road trip, actually.
Money play.
For that?
Anthony Simons is at 22 points. He's averaged 27.8 in his last 5. That's against Boston tonight at 10:40 p.m. That's the late play for me. 22, that's an easy more than he's going over that. So I'm taking more than 22 points for Anthony Simons. He's also on Ethan and I on our fantasy team as well. So I'm leaning in there.
Yeah, we're already been eliminated, but that's okay. He's a part of our future core here. David, anything on the late game?
I'll probably go. What's Derek White's points at tonight, Greg? I'm gonna probably take him under.
The reason we have Greg doing this, just for people who are watching this for the first time, is that Greg is fortunate enough to live in South Carolina.
14.5, and he hasn't hit that in 5 straight.
I'm taking that.
He's been struggling a little bit. Yeah, he's been struggling.
He's under that. He's under that last 7 games. Under that 7 out of his last 10, 0 for his last 5. He's only hit that 12 out of his last 30 games.
All right, so 40% of his last 30. And again, just as
under on Celtics, we love that. That's good stuff.
That's a good way to end the show. I mean, it's a game they might not be that up for, honestly.
Right.
At Portland, you're not going to see the best Boston team tonight.
and a long road trip for them also, which gets to be a grind at a certain point. Anyway, the reason we're going to Greg is because he's in South Carolina where Prize Picks is still legal. So make sure that you check out in your state. He can still get all the props. We're still waiting for that feature to be re-added here in the state of Florida. But again, use the code 5FIVE to sign up in normal states that take care of their people, unlike what they do with us in Tallahassee, where they just take money from lobbyists. Thanks to David. Thanks to Greg. We appreciate it. Again, if you want to play in-state in the state of Florida, use the code 5RSN. We'll continue to update you as we get more information. We do believe Prize Picks will be back soon in Florida. It might be a little bit of a different game, but they will be back in the state of Florida, and you'll be able to use the funds that you currently have. Have a good night, everybody.